Chad, start with 1, 2, 3 areas you got to get better offensively.
Discipline, ball security, and execution in the red zone. Discipline, ball security, execution in the red zone.
I mean, do you have the talent to be able to
Yeah,
do
absolutely,
better there?
absolutely. That was disappointing, disappointing and surprising. We've been very disciplined, entire camp, and so that was very surprising. We've worked a tremendous amount of red zone throughout fall camp, and had a lot of success doing it, and so that was surprising as well. Didn't execute that, and then ball security. Man, I talk about ball security absolutely every single day, and it's just little things, and we show ball security real every day, so the guys understand how they get gonna be targeted and defended in that regard. So, but those all fixable things, absolutely, and we will fix them.
Kind of a broad topic. Any specific things you're zeroing in on? Was it assignments, execution?
Execution. And for example, when it's a run play and it's man coverage, the best block for a receiver is to run that guy off. Because when you in this man coverage and their eyes are on you and you stop and block, then they stop and peek and see what's going on and try to figure out why you blocking me. Little things like that. And that's fixable. And it was something that we've always done a phenomenal job of doing. So, like I said, that was very surprising.
There were a lot of long-distance situations on third down.
Yeah.
I assume you attribute some of that to a lack of success on first down.
Absolutely,
So how do you
absolutely.
get better there?
Absolutely. And that was, again, it could have, some of it being some drops. I thought we had more drops than we this game, we did a year before. And some of it attributed to like some of the lack of discipline, not running guys off or whatnot. Because obviously going to the game, we want to stay away from those long down and distance situations. Now, with that being said, even with it being in those long down and distance situations, we did not execute the way we wanted to. We executed in regards to picking up the blitz and pass protection with amongst the backs and offensive line. We just didn't execute, being able to pitch and catch.
He had success running to the boundary on the left side, particularly until Wyatt got
Absolutely.
So that was kind of your bread and butter there, right?
That was our bread and butter. And that was bread and butter, and that was a game plan to go in there and play behind him. He's done a great job throughout camp and really good chemistry over there between those guys. And so it was. And it was something that we kind of figured out would be a weakness with how they blitzed. They were primarily a field blitzing team, which what they did a lot of in the game. So we wanted to tackle where they were weak, and that turned out to be a good thing, obviously. Wyatt didn't finish the game, so that hurt.
Coach Brown was talking about that even though Jaheim got banged up, maybe he should have got him more touches, things like that, but there were some miscues on some plays that were supposed to go to him.
Yeah.
Had anything like that happened? I hadn't seen anything like that happen in practice, or what kind of led to that confusion?
Well, I don't know. We called it run plays, and they got options to them, and Garrett missed some of the reads on those options, and sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens that he makes a big play, so you just hope. Obviously you want to get more of those reads right than wrong, but definitely got to get Jaheim the ball more, no question. But like I said, we had some plays called for him, and we had some misreads on him. Just bad decisions, lack of execution, undisciplined.
Several young linemen played for you, so from Johnny Williams to Nick Ray, I think. So give me your thoughts on what you saw out of them.
They got similar practice reps like game reps. It's interesting. We've always tell those guys, you always simulate practice reps like the game reps, play with game-like behavior. You never know when your opportunity is going to come, right? And both those guys' opportunity came at inopportune times for them. At least they had no idea that was going to happen. Their number were going to be called, and it was a good experience for them. Obviously, they held up somewhat. Not as they weren't great, but they held up. But it was a good experience for them, and I think it was good. It was a good mental deal for them, for those guys that are now mature moving forward to understand that, okay, man, I always got to have myself ready to roll, because I never know when my time's gonna come.
Chad, last week we asked you how do you scout a defense with a new coordinator?
Yeah.
With Albany, they have so many new transfers. How do you scout that defense?
Very similar. We scout that defense coordinator. He was there last year, so their system ain't gonna change. They gonna recruit players that can play within their system. Coach has been there. Head guy's been there for a while. Defense coordinator was there last year, so they gonna recruit guys that fits within their system. So we obviously got one game to work off of. So we watched that game as well, obviously, and then watched the game last year for the scheme. Very.
Do you have to seek out the individual guys all just to know what they can do, or can you focus solely just this is what they like to run, so it's what they're going to run?
Well, with a scheme, you start obviously look at like I said, you look at last year's game to see how teams played against them versus their scheme, and then we look at the LIU game to see personnel in terms of how those guys individually play. The guys they're going to see on Saturday.
You can't use this game as a big eraser to what happened last week, but what do you want to see from your guys?
Response, and they responded today. When I say response, is just be specific. Do little things that they've been coached to do. We talked about on Friday before they left and went to the hotel that they got to trust. They got to trust the coaching. That what they've been told to do works, and they know it. They got to trust. They got to trust one another. We got great connectivity. They got to trust one another that the guy next to them going to do his job, and then they got to trust themselves. Ultimately, they all got the talent. We got a special group. I was sat up here last week and I was very confident in what I was saying, and I still remain confident that we got a special football team, special talent, and they got to trust themselves. Like they're good enough, and that the little things that they do day in and day out will create those big plays that they want if they just consistently do the little things.
You talk about ball security. I mean, you had some strange things happen. The center hit the guy in motion. The other center snap,
Right.
timing things, pass to Cole that he had in his hands and came loose, but it wasn't a fumble. Is that concentration? Is that
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely, 100%. We've been doing this, running this offense for 2 years now, and with the different motions and whatnot, is absolutely concentration and focus. And I always tell guys it doesn't come natural, so you got to hone in a lot more than you would on any regular basis, but absolutely it's concentration, and that's a discipline deal as well. It's timing and, just consistency of asking for the football. And like I said, just discipline. Like those ball security deals are all of those balls on the ground, those balls in jeopardy are all technique issues. Each one of those guys can come here and sit before you and tell you exactly what they should have done with it. So concentration and discipline.
You guys do a lot of screens outside. I think in camp you guys are pretty productive with that, but what was the difference Saturday for you?
In what regard? Talking about
Just didn't pop like you guys had probably hoped for.
yeah, well we threw one to Rodney Gallagher, and that popped pretty good. Really just kind of lost rhythm, to be honest with you. We had the miscues with the ball handling, the fumble and the snap, and just kind of got behind the chains and really just kind of lost rhythm a little bit, being where we want to be with the miscues with the ball handling. But we got to obviously do that more, because those screens it's more than just screens for us. It's opportunity to get the balls in the hands of guys that can make plays, and that's what we got to do a better job of moving forward. And we will this week. We got to get the ball in the hands of guys that can make plays, and so for us, you guys look at it like just running the screens, but it's also just a way to find ways to get the ball in somebody's hand that could do something special with it. And so we'll do more of that early.